Hi friends, Mike Benner here. Thursday, June, is it 18th or 19th? Beautiful, beautiful day. I'm on top of the mountain. You probably noticed I'm sweating. Getting up here is not easy. I actually came from the east side, which is much easier than climbing from the side where our house is. I was hoping for a view, but it's not very clear right here. I'm not even sure where we are in relation to our house. But the other thing on my mind is the clouds are getting a little darker and there is a little bit of a chance for rain, and so I wanted to record this and head back to my car. Again, a beautiful day. We need rain. It's been dry here. Climbing a mountain. Jesus often went up to the mountain to pray, and I understand that. I've mentioned before just how wonderful it is to have a view, to be able to see things. The other part about this, for being in the woods for me, just these last months, it's 3 months ago that I started making these recordings. 3 months ago we stopped having worship inside together. 3 months ago I made my first video on this phone and was surprised at the fact that it worked. I could get it on YouTube. I thank you for those of you who listen and express appreciation. I pray that it continues to be meaningful, and I thank you for that affirmation. Jesus went up on the hill to pray. When I'm in the woods, again, you feel the breeze. The ruah, the breath of God. I feel like there's something about what we've come to know as contemplative prayer. Back through the early medieval times, even back into the 4th century, people who were trying to follow Christ sometimes felt the world distracted them and kind of kept them from the purest experience of God. They were motivated by the story of that rich young man who refused to give away his things, to sell his things to give to the poor. And they heard Jesus' words and they did that. They gave away everything and they moved out to the desert and prayed. And then they found that with the wisdom they attained and that they discerned through that prayer, people were drawn to come and seek their advice. So that was sort of the beginning of this way of contemplative prayer, the contemplative life. Contemplative means, instead of adding to, or at least one form of contemplative prayer is, instead of increasing your stimulation, instead of immersing yourself in the word or singing or any of those external things, instead you try and be quiet. You try and take away the stimulation. You focus on maybe one verse or one word, and in that you begin to dwell. It's almost as though you absorb the spirit and the truth of the single focus. And again, it's kind of summed up by, one thing do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. This one thing, this fellowship or this experience of God. In the woods, I've come to feel like I can absorb the life around me. These trees, the breeze, the birds. I saw a deer on the way up here. Contemplative prayer is, for me, a way of absorbing the life that is the creative energy of God, the Spirit of God, and taking that in so that we can in turn share it with others, so that we can allow others to be encouraged. I've shared that. The idea of the spring and the water that just keeps flowing. God's comfort to us is so that we can comfort others. I hope that there is something good that happens in your life today that is simply a blessing, a gift from God. And you can take a few moments to just ponder that, just to absorb the meaning of it, to absorb the goodness of it, to absorb the one who's behind it, the one who is the source of all that is. I was really hoping to show you a beautiful view of the valley. That's not to be this today, but I do hope that you experience God's peace, God's shalom. God bless you.